discuss options. General Manager Cogan?
Yes, just to be the wet blanket. Staff, before I'm the wet blanket, staff knows and acknowledges the board's, this is the board prerogative, and we will back you up with whatever you do. There are considerations if we do move around. It is not, accessibility is one of the issues. I'm glad Alan spoke up on his own, but accessibility is an issue. You do need to know we're jeopardizing video capability if we do that. I don't know if the district secretary wants to say anything to that, but the reliability of that was not good. When we do our workshop, we've done it twice a year now. It's been a big stretch to try and get something going there. On behalf of staff, because this issue came up, I asked staff about it. There are a few with small kids, and so there's some family issues, there's some single parents, and staff, the concept, I believe it was Director Murray referenced that, not everybody has to be here. Everybody has to be here who's got some item up, because to serve the board, we need to have the information available, and that is whoever is sponsoring the item. So we will be here. We'll be here in force to support you. I think the one issue, and I was happy to hear Director Saltzman raise it, that I think I put on the table for the board to consider is the measure of what is successful. We hold a lot of meetings around the district at night. We have a lot of outreach. Many of you have been there, many of you have passed on the opportunity, but the Title VI, just most recently, we've been out considerably. We've done day and night meetings. The measure of success is what I want to put on the table. So what is the success? Do we want to take attendance today? And if we match this attendance, that's success. If we're at half, it's still success. And just so that you evaluate it, that's all. I think I'd put that on the table. So thank you.
Okay. Great. Those are all great considerations, and one of the things we might do is actually reach out to our writers or our email list and just sort of ask them what their preference is. Does this work for them? Would a change work? And then also try and figure out what success looks like. So we can discuss all that when we meet. All right. Any comments on this? Great. Moving on then. We're on to board member reports. I always start at the end, but now let's start at the end. So, Director Saltzman, do you?
I don't have anything at district expense, but I wanted to mention that along with Director Rayburn yesterday, we represented Bart at the Transit Sustainability Project committee meeting at the MTC. It was very productive. And also earlier this week, I, along with Mayor Jean Kwan and several other elected officials and community leaders, we raised the Rainbow Pride flag over Oakland City Hall. And I was really proud that 3 communities in Bart District 3, Oakland, Berkeley, and San Leandro, as well as several other communities throughout the whole Bart District, did this in solidarity with the Supreme Court proceedings and showing support for marriage equality. So that meant a lot to me personally, and I think it meant a lot to the community, so I was happy to see that.
Thank you, Director Weber.
It was a pleasure for me to attend the inaugural Title VI Environmental Justice Advisory Committee meeting. And so now we have 6 advisory committees that advise the BART board and that staff are engaged with on a regular basis. So all those meeting agendas are posted on the BART website and announcements. As well, I attended the Business Advisory Council meeting, and as Director Saltzman indicated, we both represented the district in the culmination of the Transit Sustainability Project for the Inner East Bay, and its intention is to better integrate BART with our partner agencies, particularly AC Transit, so that we create seamless service for the passengers. And as well, I had one other meeting that was with the mayor and city manager in the city of San Leandro to discuss their business improvement district proposals around the BART station.
Thank you, Director. Director Department.
Okay. On the 25th of this month, I attended a meeting with the Alameda County Transportation Commission. Also represented were Alameda County Supervisor and the City of Livermore in relationship to Proposition B1 and future steps in that regard. On the 26th, attended the Hayward JPA meeting along with Director Blaylock in relationship to the South Hayward Station. And then yesterday attended a Hayward Chamber of Commerce small business meeting outreach organization and made a presentation on behalf of Bart in that regard. Okay.
Thank you, Director. I did not attend any meetings at district expense. Director Keller.
I did not attend any meetings at district expense.
I did not attend. You sound like you're taking the fifth or something.
Yeah.
I did, and quite often my district expense is simply related to my Bart Right Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm repeating the first one here on the first one was with the South Bay Engineers Club, of which I've been a member some 40 years. And their was on March the 1st. I may have mentioned already, but I was so impressed with the program because it was all about corrosion engineering. And actually the consultant who was doing the speaking is based in Colorado, of all places, but it was a fascinating discussion about how concrete can simply erupt from within from the corrosion. So that was fascinating. Likewise, I went to the Capital Corridor Joint Powers meeting. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, the Capital Corridor Joint Powers meeting. That was before that was on 3/22. No.
Oh, it was in February.
I'm sorry. These letters get jumbled. The San Joaquin Trains inaugural meeting of its newly formed JPA to provide oversight of that Amtrak train from Oakland to Bakersfield and from Bakersfield to Sacramento. So that's been operated by Caltrans all this time, and it'll still be operated that way until the Business and Transportation Agency accepts the business plan and all that stuff that we went through, and Joel will remember that we went through with the Capital Corridor. So that was interesting to be part of that. That was in Merced. I left home at 8:45 in the morning, got home at 8:45 at night. Yeah. On the 23rd, I went to the Alameda County Women's Hall of Fame up at the Greek Orthodox Temple here in Oakland. It was honoring 10 winners of that recognition this year. I had a personal friend, Sherry Higgs, in my Kiwanis Club, who was honored. But one that we know is Gilda Gonzalez, who is chair or CEO of she was CEO of the Unity Council at Fruitvale, but she's still president of the Oakland Port Authority at this time, and she's been very good to work with on a very business-like way in terms of our OAC project, and so that was good. And then, of course, I went with the South Hayward JPA for the Parking Authority on the 26th, and that's getting underway. And John was there.
Thank you, Director. Director Malone.
Yeah, I'm glad Director Blaylock stopped the pattern for me before it got to me. But my recollection is WICTAC, a few city council meetings and meetings with city officials, and a single meeting about the planning of a development that pertain to matters. So I think that's it.
Okay. Great. Andy, maybe we could get a little clarification on this in terms of what the district expense is. Director Keller was just telling me that, for example, if we use our Bart Pass, we're not reimbursed, doesn't qualify, and incidental expenses like mileage. So if you could just clarify for us what the threshold is that we need to report here, that would be great. Might make these reports a little shorter. Yeah, that's probably best that we have it to look at. Okay, thank you. All right, any public comment on that? Seeing none, public comments closed. Roll call for introductions. Let's start with Director Millay.
Today, no roll calls for introduction.
Okay.
We got a brief from AC Transit, and one of the things I noticed in there is that they're going to work on expanding the number of Clipper card sales locations, particularly in low-income areas. I don't know whether we already do this, but if we don't, I'm hoping that we can coordinate with them so that we have kind of a joint effort in establishing those.
Yeah, excellent idea. Okay. I just have one item, which is the regional transportation plan. I've been around stories about it this week, and I'm wondering if what's in it and if Bart's going to comment on the RTP. So if you could give us an update on RTP. Directly relevant to what we were talking about earlier, which is capital priorities for the region. Director McPartland. Okay. Director Rayburn?
I'll pass.
Okay. All right. Any public comment on roll call for introductions? Seeing none. Okay, we're on to general public comments. I have several requests to speak. We're not done, colleagues. The first is Jean Gomez, followed by Yuri Hawley.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Still. I know all of you get prepped on events that occur in the district, and I know my brothers and sisters with ATU spoke at the last meeting about an unfortunate incident that happened in an elevator at Montgomery. But I know when we look at the news, and I'm not sure what you got in the prep, that maybe you didn't get sort of the full 360 view, because after ATU staff came to the scene, AFSCME staff came to the scene. Our operation supervisors are also called in as incident commanders. They represent the line managers. So then we had ATU and AFSCME and the unfortunate patron stuck in the elevator, dealing with what was very obvious to all of them, what had happened. You know, at that point, I think the news just stopped, and I don't know what detail you got, but most of us would assume fire, rescue, hazmat came in, took care of the scene, got the elevator back in working order, and time went on. What actually took place was an AFSCME section manager was called in by our superintendent of power and mechanical maintenance and asked to get down into it and extricate the victim's remains in a manner that would restrict the physical damage to the elevator in the process. SEIU brothers, it was probably all men, were also brought in to help him. It wasn't outside staff. It wasn't fire, police, rescue. It was more of our union brothers and sisters that had to deal up close and personal. This is